I'd like to see the credentials right now.
You insist?
Dirty Harry is a film example of someone engaged in extrajudicial punishment or police vigilantism. And while this is just one example of what's referred to as noble cause corruption, it's the one most Americans at least know rather well.
Go ahead, make my day. You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
What I'm saying is that man had rights.
Well, I'm all broken up about that man's right. I shoot the bastard, that's my policy.
Though from the onset, it should be said that noble cause corruption could involve a lot or absolutely no physical violence done against anyone. Noble cause corruption describes a phenomenon where law enforcement officials engage in unethical or illegal behavior in pursuit of a perceived noble cause or greater good. This type of corruption is often committed by individuals who believe that their actions are justified because they are serving a greater good or protecting society from harm. The term noble cause corruption was first coined by Edwin Delattre, a philosopher and criminologist, in his book Character in Cops, Ethics in Policing. Delattre argued that noble cause corruption was a result of the inherent tension between the moral obligations of law enforcement officials and the demands of their job. Police officers are tasked with protecting the public and upholding the law, which often involves dealing with dangerous and violent individuals.
Drop the knife now.
In order to do their job effectively, officers must be willing to take risks and make split-second decisions. This can create a sense of moral urgency that can sometimes lead to unethical or illegal behavior. One example of noble cause corruption is when law enforcement officials engage in police brutality or use excessive force against subjects. These officers may feel that they are justified in using force because they are protecting the public or preventing a suspect from harming others. However, this type of behavior is illegal and can cause serious harm to innocent individuals.
Inmate Darren Rainey was being escorted to a shower because he had defecated in his cell and smeared the feces on himself. It wasn't the first time. Rainey was put in a long, narrow shower, but had no control over the water temperature. That was up to Corrections Officer Roland Clark, the closeout memo says. Clark told homicide detectives he made sure the water temperature was all right. It was controlled by faucets in an adjacent janitor's closet. Then Clark and other officers left Rainey in that shower for nearly 2 hours. Some inmates said they heard Rainey screaming for help because the water was reportedly too hot, an accusation that could not be corroborated. Rainey, mentally ill and in prison on drug charges, was found not breathing on the shower floor. Officer Clark, the closeout memo says, recalled that Rainey's body felt warm and slippery, and that as he was lifting him from the shower, some of inmate Rainey's skin was coming off.
Another example of noble cause corruption is when law enforcement officials engage in illegal surveillance or other forms of privacy violations. These officers may believe that they are justified in using these tactics because they are gathering information that could prevent a crime or protect the public. However, this type of behavior violates the Fourth Amendment and can lead to serious legal consequences. One high-profile example of noble cause corruption is the case of the Rampart scandal in the Los Angeles Police Department. In the late 1990s, a group of LAPD officers in the Rampart division were found to have engaged in a wide range of illegal and unethical behavior, including the planting of evidence, the use of excessive force, and the framing of suspects. Many of these officers believed that their actions were justified because they were targeting dangerous criminals who posed a threat to the public. However, their behavior violated the law and ended up causing serious harm to some innocent individuals. Noble cause corruption can also be seen in the way that law enforcement officials handle cases involving high-profile or politically sensitive individuals. In some cases, officers may be more likely to overlook or downplay evidence that could implicate powerful individuals or groups in a criminal activity. This can create a culture of impunity where those in positions of power are able to act with impunity and avoid accountability for their actions. Another factor that can contribute to noble cause corruption is the culture of law enforcement organizations themselves. In some cases, officers may feel pressure to engage in unethical or illegal behaviors in order to meet the demands of their superiors or to gain the approval of their peers.
Put him in my shirt. Hold on.
This can create a toxic culture where officers are encouraged to put their own interests ahead of the law and the public they are sworn to serve. To address noble cause corruption, it is important for law enforcement organizations to prioritize ethics and accountability. This can include regular training on ethical behavior, the creation of clear policies and procedures for handling cases, and the establishment of independent oversight mechanisms to ensure that officers are held accountable for their actions.
I think he also said something about winnowing the Neanderthals out of the department.
It is also important for the public to be aware of the potential for noble cause corruption and to hold law enforcement officials accountable when they engage in illegal or unethical behavior. This can include reporting suspected misconduct to internal affairs or other oversight agencies, supporting organizations that advocate for police accountability, and holding elected officials accountable for ensuring that law enforcement agencies are operating in an ethical and transparent manner.
We have better law enforcement than this. You know, I continue to urge the people, I ask them to continue trusting law enforcement. You know, just because we have one bad apple in the bunch doesn't mean that law enforcement represents this. We have some very good law enforcement officers.
Noble cause corruption is a complex and challenging issue that can have serious consequences for law enforcement officials and the public they are sworn to protect. By recognizing the potential for this type of corruption and taking proactive steps to address it, we can work towards creating a more just and ethical law enforcement system that serves the needs of all members of society. One important step in addressing noble cause corruption is to improve training and education for law enforcement officials. This includes providing regular training on ethical behavior and emphasizing the importance of upholding the law and protecting the rights of all individuals. It also includes promoting diversity and cultural competency within law enforcement organizations, which can help to reduce bias and promote greater understanding and trust between law enforcement officials and the communities they serve. Another key factor in addressing noble cause corruption is promoting transparency and accountability within law enforcement agencies. This includes creating clear policies and procedures for handling cases and ensuring that officers are held accountable for any misconduct, up to and including termination or criminal prosecution.
The 3 officers involved have been placed on paid leave, and the police chief is apologizing to the family today.
I'm extremely remorseful over the whole event, and I extend nothing but my deepest condolences to the Dotson family.
It also includes promoting independent oversight mechanisms, such as civilian review boards or external audits, which can help to ensure that law enforcement organizations are operating in an ethical and transparent manner. In addition to these steps, it is also important for the public to be engaged and involved in the process of addressing noble cause corruption. This includes promoting greater awareness and education about the issue, as well as providing greater opportunities for community members to participate in the development of policies and procedures related to law enforcement. By recognizing the potential for this type of corruption and taking proactive steps to address it, we can work towards creating a more just and ethical law enforcement system that serves the needs of all members of society. Ultimately, the goal should be to create a system that upholds the rule of law and protects the rights of all individuals, while also promoting greater safety and security for everyone.
Oh, Drebin, I don't want any more trouble like you had last year on the South Side. Understand? That's my policy.
Yes, well, when I see 5 weirdos dressed in togas stabbing a guy in the middle of the park in full view of 100 people, I shoot the bastards. That's my policy.
That was a Shakespeare in the Park production of Julius Caesar, you moron. You killed 5 actors. Good one.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe. I'm on a mission to get 1,000 subscribers by August 2023. Help me make this a reality. And if you made it to this point, good money says you'll like this video too. And I hope to see you again soon, because there's always something lurking beneath the floorboards somewhere.